You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Total disaster at Trump's fair as scorching heat leaves 7 on advanced life support based on an article by Daniel Hampton. Trump's fair wasn't a festival, it was a test of neglect. Power decides the conditions. This was not an act of nature in the abstract. It was a Trump-branded event held in a blistering heat wave in a wide open field with no shade and a shutdown already forced by the weather. By the time reporters described people fainting, emergency crews rushing in, and 7 attendees reportedly on advanced life support, the central fact was already clear. The people in charge built a disaster and called it spectacle. The decision was a failure. The source makes the covering logic obvious. Organizers knew the heat was extreme. This event was temporarily shut down earlier in the day. They still plan to reopen at 5 p.m. That is not confusion. That is a decision to keep the machine running after the machine has already started hurting people. Poorly planned is too soft for setup that left attendees sweating, collapsing, and scrambling for water while EMS trucks moved through the fairground like damage control. The theater of blame. What stories like this often do is scatter responsibilities across weather, cross-size, and unfortunate timing. That is misdirection. The weather was predictable. The venue was visible. The lack of shade was structural. Then the emergency response was forced into plain rescue after the fact. The harm was not a mystery produced by chaos. It was the outcome of leadership that treats people as crops and preparedness as optional. Cruelty as competence. This is the same political style that has always confused aggression with management. Trumpism sells incompetence as vigor and then relies on everyone else to absorb the consequences. The attendee dunking herself in a baptismal pool to survive the heat is absurd only because the event was designed with the same contempt for basic human conditions that defines so much of this politics. The crowd was not being hosted, it was being used. What this pattern reveals, the deeper pattern is simple. Authoritarian politics does not merely lie about reality, it normalizes preventable suffering as part of the show. The planners ignore heat, shade, water, and medical readiness. They are not making an accidental error. They are demonstrating whose comfort matters and whose bodies are expendable. The fair was supposed to project strength. Instead, it exposed the core of this movement, performative power, little negligence, and other people left to pay for both. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article, with the automated voice of Diana. Thanks for listening.